Today's forecast is one for the history books. Very strong storms are expected to sweep across the region. We're talking about powerful winds, intense lightning, torrential rainfall, and possibly even hail or tornadoes in some areas. This is not your typical stormy day. This is the kind of weather that demands your attention. Right now, the atmosphere is charged and unstable, creating the perfect conditions for severe storms to form and intensify. Reports are already coming in of ominous skies and rapidly changing weather patterns. Whether you're on the East Coast, the Midwest, or the Southern Plains, stay alert, stay safe, and stay indoors if you can. If you're driving, be cautious of flash flooding. Just a few inches of fast-moving water can sweep your vehicle away. If you're at home, secure loose objects outside and prepare for possible power outages. And most importantly, make sure you have a reliable way to receive weather alerts. This could be a dangerous day, but with preparation and vigilance, we can all get through it safely. Keep your loved ones informed, and let's navigate this stormy day together. Stay safe, America. I've got a major update for you on what's shaping up to be a very rare winter storm in the deep south, potentially reaching as far south as the Gulf Coast and maybe even as far as Savannah, Charleston, and Myrtle Beach. All of these areas are in the running for a potential winter storm by early next week. I'll break all of that down for you in today's video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell for notifications. That way you'll stay up to date with all the latest model guidance and a detailed breakdown of the forecast in the days ahead as we track this storm and any future systems. Also, leave a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what you think will happen with this storm system. All right, guys, with that said, let's dive right into the data and get you up to speed. What you see looping next to me is the latest run, hot off the press, of our European computer model. You can clearly see the potential for winter weather, not just in the deep south, but also in the northeast. Another storm system we're monitoring could bring winter weather to the I-95 corridor from Philadelphia up to Boston. We'll touch on that as well in today's video. Keep in mind, this is just one model run, not an exact forecast, but it does show the potential fairly well on the latest European model. Now, something else highlighting this potential comes straight from the experts at the Weather Prediction Center. This is their forecast for Tuesday afternoon. They're calling for a feisty winter storm with snow and ice potentially reaching as far south as New Orleans, Houston, and the Florida Panhandle. Cities like Mobile and Pascagoula, as well as Savannah, Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, and even the Outer Banks are all showing signs of potential winter weather. When the Weather Prediction Center releases a map like this and you're just 4 days out, it's a strong signal that confidence in this event is growing. The big questions now are the details: how much, what type of precipitation, and where exactly it will fall. These are the key points we'll aim to refine in the coming days. I'll also give you a general idea in today's video of which areas are most likely to see snow and ice. Before anything can fall from the sky, though, we need cold air in place. So let's talk about that. The latest satellite loop shows cold air moving south quickly. You might be wondering, Gerald, where is this cold air you're talking about? Well, the details lie in the upper levels of the atmosphere. The water vapor loop shows where moisture is being transported. And while you might think moisture isn't the focus, the jet stream transporting it exists because of the clash between cold and warm air. This cold air is currently making its way southward. You'll notice some enhanced precipitation over south central Canada, just north of Minnesota and Wisconsin. This marks the push of very cold Arctic air heading south, picking up moisture as it moves. This cold air will arrive by the weekend and become well established across much of the U.S. by Monday. The next question is whether there will be enough energy to interact with that Arctic air. Looking at the map, there's a small piece of energy near California which could combine with the general jet stream energy. If they link up, or if just one becomes strong enough, we could see significant winter weather in the deep south next week. Timing and alignment of these systems remain uncertain, but it's increasingly likely that some areas unaccustomed to snow and ice will experience it. Now, let's time out the arrival of cold air using our 500 millibar height anomaly map, a favorite tool on this channel. As of this afternoon, warmer air is in place across the east, indicated by a pocket of orange on the map. You probably noticed the warmth yesterday. It was certainly milder here in Charlotte. Enjoy it while it lasts, because by the weekend, a big blue blob of cold air will take over. By Sunday afternoon, cold air will dominate the lower 48, stretching from California to the Carolinas and Maine. This cold air mass, combined with energy aloft, sets the stage for potential winter weather next week. How cold will it get? That's a great question. I saw someone post on X, formerly Twitter, the other day, asking why anomaly maps are shared without actual temperature forecasts. It's a valid point, and I'll show you the temperature forecast shortly, but anomaly maps are useful for visualizing departures from average. As of this afternoon, we see warmer temperatures, orange and red, across much of the east. But starting tomorrow morning, cold air will begin pushing south and east. By Sunday morning, the cold air will be well entrenched with widespread below average temperatures across much of the country by Tuesday morning. When Houston is 20 degrees below average and precipitation is falling in January, rare winter weather becomes a real possibility. Stay tuned as we continue to refine the forecast and break down what's shaping up to be a fascinating winter storm. As we discuss high temperatures expected on Monday afternoon, folks, it's going to be a struggle for many cities in the Deep South to get above freezing. We're talking about places like Birmingham, Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Little Rock, and even potentially as far south as Texarkana, where temperatures may hover around 32 degrees. Meanwhile, up in the northern plains, including areas like the Dakotas, Minnesota, and parts of Wisconsin, temperatures may not climb above zero. In fact, some locations might remain below zero until later next week after this cold air mass moves in. Even then, highs will only reach the single digits or teens across the Ohio River Valley and portions of the Northeast. Highs along the I-95 corridor will only make it to around 15 to 20 degrees. To give you an idea of just how cold it will get, by Monday night and into Tuesday morning, most of Texas will likely dip below freezing. The same is true for the Florida Panhandle and New Orleans, where lows could drop into the 20s. Cities like Pascagoula and Mobile will also feel this deep freeze. And the 0-degree line might extend as far south as St. Louis, Cincinnati, and Louisville, with those cities potentially approaching zero. Much of the interior Northeast will also see temperatures below zero. In Minnesota and North Dakota, some areas could drop to minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit or colder by Tuesday morning. The cold air will absolutely be in place, and I can guarantee it's going to be frigid. Now let's shift gears and talk about precipitation. And I'll change the map real quick and zoom in for a closer look. As this cold air mass moves in, there's a chance of a smaller scale wintry event or even a moderate winter weather event across parts of the east before we get into next week. Here's the timeline. As of this afternoon, things remain quiet. But by tomorrow morning, Saturday, as the cold air pushes in, we'll start to see enough lift for some winter weather to develop, along with some rain. Light snow could occur in Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. This won't be a major event, but some snow is possible in the mountains of North Carolina and into Virginia. However, for major cities like Nashville, Knoxville, Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, and much of Kentucky, this will likely be all rain. Moving into Saturday afternoon and evening, the interior Northeast may see some light snow. Again, this won't be a big deal. But here's where things start to get interesting. By Sunday afternoon, the cold air will have firmly settled in across most areas except the extreme southeastern coastline. A small piece of energy will develop along a baroclinic zone near the southeast coastline. This is a region where low pressure systems often form, and that's exactly what will happen. This system will tap into Atlantic moisture and begin to interact with the cold air. Sunday afternoon could bring snow to parts of eastern Tennessee, Kentucky, and Virginia. North Carolina, including cities like Greensboro, Charlotte, and Raleigh, might even see a few flakes Sunday evening. The storm is expected to strengthen and move up the coast overnight Sunday into Monday, delivering a notable winter weather event for cities like Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. Long Island is also likely to see now during this period. Switching to another model, the GFS is showing even more excitement for this system. It suggests a 996 millibar low, a classic nor'easter. While not as strong as some of the blockbuster nor'easters we've seen, this is still a solid system. Snowfall could cover the I-95 corridor starting Sunday afternoon and continuing through the evening. For example, the Eagles game in Philadelphia on Sunday might even turn into a snow game. By Monday morning, the system should pull out of the region. At this point, we can start teasing snowfall totals. Based on the model blend, we're looking at a general range of totals. Washington, D.C., a couple of inches. Philadelphia, around 3 to 4 inches. New York City, approximately 4 to 5 inches. Boston, totals could reach 5 to 6 inches. These are early estimates and are subject to change, but it's a good starting point. Considering how lackluster the past few winters have been, this would be a welcome snow event for many, especially in areas like Philadelphia, New York, and Boston, even down into Southern Virginia and possibly Greensboro and Raleigh. Some flakes could fly, though significant accumulation isn't as likely in those areas. Now, shifting back to the southern snow potential that brought you to this video, let's analyze what's happening with the models and how this rare event might shape up. Stay tuned for more updates as we dive deeper into the forecast. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like this video if you're hyped for playoff football. Subscribe to the channel for more Chiefs updates, and I'll catch you in the next one. Let's go, Chiefs.